And now we're going to transition from one bummer movie to another as Tim and Carrie go on the spot to review Dunkirk. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, I'm Tim.
And I'm Carrie, and today we're reviewing Dunkirk.
Let's check out a trailer.
The enemy tanks have stopped.
Why?
Why waste precious tanks when they can pick us off from the air like fish in a barrel?
There are 400,000 men on this beach.
He's coming back round. He's coming back round!
Where are we going?
Dunkirk.
I'm not going back.
There's no hiding from this, son. We have a job to do.
If we go there, we'll die.
You can practically see it from here.
What?
Home.
All right, Tim, so what were your initial thoughts after watching this movie?
I really love this movie, just plain and simple. This is a lot of fun. It's Nolan, who's one of my favorite directors, and it's a war movie, which I like war movies if they're done right, and this one is definitely done right. This is just a masterclass in editing and sound mixing and performances, and all the technical elements of a film just come together so well in this movie. And I watched it for the first time in theaters, so like the surround sound really just got me into the film, and like I totally experienced it rather than just watched it. I know that's a little pretentious to say, but this is a movie that like you experience. It is all encompassing and it's really awesome. What about you?
I completely agree with that. I did not see this in theaters. I watched it this morning on my laptop, but I can definitely see how the theater experience would make it even more powerful than it already is. And watching it on my laptop, which not a big screen, but you're still like just drawn into everything that's happening. Like everything else goes away. It's only this movie because of everything you said, the character performances, the editing, the sound, literally everything is on point in this movie. It's really amazing to watch, for sure.
And one of the things that makes that theater experience so great, like I mentioned, the sound mixing is a huge one. What I really like about this is the score is incredible, first off.
Absolutely.
But also, as you're going throughout the movie, there's a constantly like rising note in the background that is, as throughout the movie, it keeps growing and growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger as the plots progress. And so that just adds to that level of tension that you feel as an audience member. And it's so great because it's something you don't even really notice at first, but on like a second or third viewing, you just go back to it and you're realizing, oh, this is like an element that they put in that really just ramps up that tension. And they do a really good job of just mixing all of those sounds into just have a full-on war experience on your screen. And so I think that's the part probably I appreciate the most about it. But like you said, yeah, there's also plenty of other elements. Like the cast is another one that does such a good job for me. I mean, it's Nolan, so you've got Murphy, you've got Kane, you've got Brana in there who does great. And I think they just all really, it's a really great character study. It's not just like a full war movie with like full-on battles. It like picks and chooses certain soldiers and people in the war and explores those stories. So that's what I really appreciate too about it.
Absolutely. And then at the end, when you see all the characters, their paths crossing, when you did, like, you know, they started off at completely different points. And then at the end, it's all full circle and it all comes together with the characters and everything. And it's just, it's really well, like, there's no flaws really with any of the characters. I will say, going into it, I was a little hesitant because everyone knows Harry Styles is in this movie. It's his acting debut. I wasn't sure how, honestly, I wasn't sure how big of a role he played or how good his performance would actually be. And I was pleasantly surprised with it. He did a pretty good job.
I agree.
Especially on the end, on the train when they're going back home, and he's just so upset with himself and saying like, "Oh, everyone's gonna hate us. Like they're thinking we just failed." And then when he sees that they don't hate the soldiers for coming back home, it's just such a difference, and you can see that he actually does have acting talent in him, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, he does. I was in the same boat where I heard Harry Styles was in it. I thought, oh, this is some marketing trick to pull in, younger audiences, which is, hey, you got to do what you got to do, but it's kind of a cheap shot. But he did a great job, I thought. He really, I was like the first shot I saw him in, all right, that's Harry Styles, but very quickly just saw him as the character he was playing.
Exactly.
And everyone did such a great job in their roles in all three storylines. That's another part I really liked, was the three converging storylines. That's kind of a recurring theme in Nolan's movies, is the element of time and how he plays around with that. Like Tenet, that's all about time and entropy, and then Interstellar, kind of, time dilation. And then in this one, you've got three converging storylines that all take place over a set amount of time, but he edits it so well that it just feels like, they're all happening at the same time, and you don't understand at first what the deal is, and then they all converge, and I think that really just makes it such a cohesive film. That is what makes it so enjoyable for me, is that just blending of the three storylines.
Absolutely. Plus, not to mention getting the three different storylines and perspectives, it breaks up, the intensity of each scene. Because everyone's going through their own private battles, basically.
Yeah.
And so you're in that moment with each of these different storylines, and you feel how, scared everyone is. And they cut it at the right time to go to the next story where you're still in that tension. And then you go to the next story and it's like, okay, we have a little bit of relief, but more tension. So you have all these different things going on that you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
But overall, what would you rate this movie out of 10?
So I had a little debate. I'm going to go 9 out of 10 ultimately, just because there are certain points where it slows down a little bit for me. I know it is kind of, a more of a character study, like I mentioned, but it does get a little, slow at certain points, but that's very rare. And overall, it's much more just enjoying the whole thing as I watch it. There's way more positives than negatives. So 9 out of 10 is where I'm feeling really comfortable. What about you?
I completely agree. I'm also giving it a 9 out of 10. Done very well. I really enjoyed it. I would love to go back and watch it and, like you said, get all the little pieces that you don't see the first time around and just get the experience to get even better and even greater than it was for the first viewing.
Absolutely. So now I'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
That's all for this week. If you want to follow more Review Crew content, go to the Review Crew Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as Orange TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube.
Find the Review Q's podcast on Spotify or on our website at orangetvnetwork.syr.edu, where you can also find our blog and more OTN information.
Check out this week's screening hosted by University Union, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Also, be sure to check out Friday Night Movie Night on OTN. This week's movies are A Star is Born, His Girl Friday, The Three Stooges, Brideless Groom, and Superman 04.
See you guys next week.